What's going on, guys? Chuck back with another awesome Blu-ray purchase, and this is a big one. This is one I've been looking forward to doing for quite a while, and it is my Vinegar Syndrome halfway to Black Friday order, and this is a big one, literally and figuratively. I guess what was in here is kind of a big deal, has been, and the order itself was pretty big. So it was like a three-part order. Because initially it started when they first had, I guess, kind of like their halfway Black Friday sale, where they announced the three major releases, and I think they were doing them at like a slightly discounted price, and of course they had mentioned that they had other hidden titles they were going to name at a later date. So I picked up the big releases, and then just a few weeks ago, they actually had the official halfway Black Friday sale, where they put all the stuff out there, and they announced the extra titles, hidden titles, whatever they were. And so I went ahead and picked up a few of those too. So that was like a double order. Then, of course, during that sale, everything they had was half off. And in doing so, I looked around and I picked up a couple of things from their Peakorama label because they were half off. So I was like a third part. So then I had all of them shipped together in one bundle because free shipping to do that. And so I got a pretty big order. If you hear that noise, that's my refrigerator. Sorry. The ice tray's filling. So anyway, so on top of that, I got an order that I had picked up. I ordered from Amazon, but it's a Kino Lorber title. And it was one, and I'm going to start off with that. It was one that I was keen when it announced, did I want to get this or not? I'd seen the trailer for this, and it looked just bonkers. And I saw that Kino Lorber was releasing it, but I want to get it. I was kind of up in the air. Then I saw Amazon was selling it for $9. So I was like, well, I can't beat that. And that is Stunt Rock. I mean, if you don't know anything about this, the title alone is probably a seller for you. I had seen the trailer on, one of my many trailer compilations, and it just looks just crazy. I believe it's an Australian film. You've got, I have not seen this film. Like I said, the trailer kind of enticed me to really want to see this. And in the podcast I've mentioned before, I listened to the Grind Bin. They actually covered this film, and it just made it sound even more glorious. But basically, you've got a stuntman hanging out with a rock band named Sorcerer, and there you go. I'm sure some kind of plot. I'm not sure what it could be, but you got stunts and rock and roll solo. But this is from Kino Lorber. I said I got it from Amazon for $9. I can't pass it up. Here's the back. Look at all the features on here. And there's your alternate artwork. Back cover that's still exactly the same. Inside, typical Kino Lorber, we just got the little black disc, which, after almost summer, I was kind of excited that I had it, a artwork on it. But typical Kino Lorber, it's plain, but it's okay. I mean, the content's there, and you've got on here in special features, like I said, you got audio commentaries, excerpts from the Not Quite Hollywood documentary, which is really good. If you've never seen that, it's a whole documentary on exploitation films. Highly recommend it. I think it's done by the same people who did was Machete Maidens Unleashed, I think, and the Canon or documentary. I don't know what it's called right now. Not the Go-Go Boys about Golden Globes. The other one, which I think is the better one. I'm drawing your name right now. I'll probably stick it right here. But again, highly recommend checking out the documentary not quite Hollywood. A lot of fun, especially if you don't know a whole lot about exploitation films, which I did not prior to watching that. But there's a lot of good stuff in there, and I don't. Well, obviously there was an excerpt from there. I don't remember that. I had to go back and watch that, but definitely check that out. So now on to the biggies, and I'm gonna start slow. But first of all, let me point out that Vinegar Syndrome 70 cents little postcard, which I thought was kind of cool. In here, this little freebie. I don't know. So I'll start off with the adult titles I got. I won't go into much detail. Just kind of show them off real quick. So I probably, hopefully, plan to maybe discuss those more in depth at a later time, each individual one. But I said these are all half off. A lot of them are good deals, and a lot of these are twofers. You've got a couple double features on here, so why not? And then there's one special item involved in this that I had to pick up, so I'll get that in a minute. So starting off, first off, the first one we had was it Heavenly Desire and Taxi Girls? Well, that's a little peek around with double feature. Nothing much. It's just a single DVD. It's your basic reverse artwork. It's 2 movies on 1 disc. And I think I've seen Taxi Girls a long time ago. I'm not sure. It's been it did a long time ago, but it sounds familiar. So there's that. I think this is okay. The Pink Ladies. And this one thing I picked up because it's something that went by the people who were in these films. And if I can see, yeah, Samantha Fox was in this one, and that's one of the reasons why I grabbed this. And I read some of the synopsis, sounded interesting, but a lot of these classic stars, there was a lot of these movies have Kay Parker, Samantha Fox, and so on and so forth that I really had to grab. So, and this is a Blu-ray DVD combo. Yeah, they're both okay. Just a little upside down, but not too bad. Artwork is reverse. I don't know if I can show it or not. Oh, the artwork is basically the same as the DVD, which is turned purple. So next up, Indecent Exposure. Seemed interesting, and all these, most of these are all remastered too from their original 35mm negatives into I think 2K remaster, which is kind of cool. Again, for adult films that were shot on 35mm to get that preservation. Let's see, you've got in here Jesse St. James, Robert Kerman, who went by the name Arbola in the adult film industry, but he was also known for Italian exploitation films. He's probably most well known for being in Cannibal Holocaust as the professor who was looking for the documentary crew. And but he also did adult films. Some of his highlights were what was it? Taboo American Style, like these ones I came out off the top of my head. Debbie Does Dallas is a big one. Devil Amos Jones Part 2, and several other films. He was a mainstay in a lot of these films. This next one, let's see how we can just cover this up. Hard Soap and Disco Ladies. So you got two different, two films on there. And I'm not, again, this one I think has got some big names in it. It seems like John Holmes is in this one. I'm trying to read the small print, so I do apologize. Let's see. Trying to find the ladies in here. Candida Royale. Let's see. And a few other ones. We got Ron and Joe Petty and Disco Lady. Mike Ranger. Like I said, and several others. This one was one I picked up because I know this title. I've heard this title a lot, and it's one I always want to check out. It's kind of, I think this was actually a series, and that's You're Clothed. I like to watch. I think there was multiple. This is almost like a franchise, and then you've got Sorority Sweethearts here also. Another double build. And this is, Blu-ray DVD combos. So I won't get too much in there. And the last one I got individually with Annette Haven, Kelly Nichols, Henri Pichard's film, Public Affairs. So, and they gave, all these are half price. These are all great deals. Most of these are Blu-ray DVD combos. I figured, what the heck, you know, after picking up Snip Competition, which I've talked about a few videos back in my After Dark video, which I'm hoping to do more of when I find the time to sit down and really watch these particular films. And I have two. Actually, there's two that I really want to do. One I actually got to rewatch again recently, so I hope I can talk about it soon. So, there's a lot. Like I said, one thing I like with Vinegar Syndrome, and I've talked about, you know, my love, if you will, for classic adult cinema, and having a lot of these films and preserving them is really cool to get some of these classic titles. But so the last thing in that genre, if you will, this was a big thing that they saw they were releasing. This was a new release, sort of, and I thought, what the heck, I got to grab that. And that was this nice box they put out for the Taboo series, to collect all 4 films on 3 discs in this nice little box. So there's, you see here, I thought this was kind of cool. You could buy this with all 4 films, or, you know, just by itself, which I bought it by itself because I do have the first 3 Taboo films from Vinegar Syndrome. I did have 4, so I did buy 4 to go with this. And we open this up, and I've actually put them in here too. So this is she's covered just to be sure. But that's Taboo 4, which I did buy, and then let me just flip this real quick. I have the naughty cover for this here. Gotta be careful. So in here I do have also Taboos 1, 2, and 3, and of course 2 and 3 are on 1 disc, or 1. Actually, they're 2 discs or 1 disc. Oh, they're 2 different discs, but they're just in 1 set. So yeah, it's a collection of all 4 films in this series, and I didn't buy 4 prior because the Taboo trilogy. I mean, the Taboo. I think of Kay Parker, and she is a focus more on 1 and 3 than 2, but she is in 2, and I think 4 kind of deviates away from that a little bit. That story, that character, if you will, and it's called. I believe it's even called the younger generation or something like that. And it has give me a minute. Ginger Lynn, I believe, is in it. So I know I'd seen it, but I didn't really consider it part of the classic trilogy. However, like I said, the box set, you know, is here, available. It's for all 4. You've got the first 3. Might as well go on 4. And it is directed by Curtis Stevens, who did the other films. And I believe Kay Parker actually has at least a cameo in this film. So I guess it is part of that, you know, official Taboo series. So why the heck not? And you know, it's a nice little box to put your naughtiness inside. That didn't sound right at all. And it's a nice little collector's set again. That's kind of cool. Well, so why not? So I picked that up. So that is it for the smut. Now on to the actual film. I'm hot, sweaty. These movies are hot. So what I did pick up, let me move some stuff around here. Okay. Start one of the first, this is one, again, I had not seen, but this is one I'd heard about, again, listening to the Grind Bin podcast. They covered this film on one of their episodes, and I saw that Vinegar Syndrome was releasing it in a nice little, I guess kind of a collector's edition or something, or a special edition. So what the heck, and that is Voyage of the Rock Aliens, starring Pia Zadora. It's a, you know, crazy whacked out musical. It came in this nice release, a nice slipcover. Why not? See the back here. The story of a guy, a girl, and an alien, and the one night they will always remember. disc. And you see it's got quite a few special features on there, which I haven't really taken a look at, but you've got embarking on a voyage, the making of an alien dance rock opera. This is newly scanned, remastered in 2K from a 35mm negative, so that's cool. Again, who would have thought something like this would, be remastered in any way? This print is so small. Anyways, I'm gonna put it up there again because I can't read it, but you see all the features they've got up here. There. And spin it around. And it's only a single disc, single Blu-ray. See, there you go. And with reverse artwork, pop this up, which isn't really that different, honestly. It's just this image right here. It's kind of the same image except without the hand wrapped around them, wrapped around a Polaroid or whatever that is. But yeah, so I've heard, from what I've heard, this is a lot of fun. It's kind of, obviously, it's really silly. I mean, the premise seems silly, but I love a good musical. And maybe the sillier the better. So there you go. Voyage of the Rock Aliens. Next up was one I have seen. And it's probably really found a second. This is an 80s rip-off film of, I guess, that the Gremlins came out in '84. Little creatures or mischievous creatures became the big thing. You had the ghoulies, the munchies, critters, stuff like that. So some went out, and then you got hobgoblins. Now, I was first made familiar with this film for Mystery Science Theater 3000, and it is just crazy. It's so 80s bad, but it's so fun, and they really did a good job riffing that. And I actually saw the Riff Tracks live version of it sometime back, a couple years ago. That's still a lot of fun. And I saw Vinegar Syndrome was releasing this. Now, I don't know if I think this maybe had already been out before, and they were just releasing a new slipcover. So I think I saw some videos, reviewers that just bought the slipcover. But I got the movie and the slipcover, in and out. Yeah. And there's the disc with the alternate artwork, and see all your features here, which is really cool. Again, another scanner and restored in 2K from a 35mm negative of hobgoblins. Someone took the time to restore hobgoblins in the 2K master. Wow. You got archival commentary with director Rick Sloan. Hobgoblins Revisited, brand new making of featurette, so that should be interesting. Brand new interview with Hobgoblin creature fabricators. The making of a Disaster Piece featurette. Trailers. I mean, wow. Oh, I need to show you. Here's the back of that slipcover there. Pull the pin out here a bit. And then again, this is a Blu-ray DVD combo. Or actually, yeah, Blu-ray DVD combo. So there's your discs. And the artwork, it's not reversible, but you have this little image in the back, which is kind of cool. Little hobgoblins causing mischief. Dialing 800 numbers. Or hanging out at Club Scum. One of my favorite things about, or I always remember from the Mystery Science Theater version, was when they were at the dance, or they're at home, I think, having a little party, playing music, whatever, and they had this great riff where they're singing, it's the 80s, do a lot of coke and vote for Ronald Reagan. It's that's, I'm not Mike Nelson, but that's just a great riff, and it's funny. And this movie is just so bonkers, but it's a lot of fun. So the last film here, the preamble to the heavy hitters, if you will. This is another one I don't know. I think it may have already been released, and they just put out a brand new slipcover, similar to Hobgoblins. Again, I just grabbed the film in the slip, and that is The Bees. Don't know a lot about this, except that, it has John Saxon, but I do love a good nature gone awry horror film, especially involving animals, as you've seen in the past with my purchase of Grizzly and Day of the Animals, Slugs, Squirm, stuff like Tentacles. I'm a sucker for these kind of things, and this is just great. And this is a fantastic slipcover. That artwork with is just great. And here's the back. But this is beautiful, beautiful. Take a look at the spine there. And then here's another great piece of art. Here's your back. And this is another Blu-ray DVD combo, as you see here. And it's also got reverse artwork. And this is another good image too. So I was kind of torn on what image do you put up for this. So that's a really good one too. Maybe a little more risque though, if you look at it closer. But it's still really, really good. So I'm looking forward to checking this one out because this looks really good. Again, you got John Saxon in it. If you got John Saxon, that's always a good thing. He's going to elevate your movie in so many ways. And again, I'm a sucker for nature gone awry, animals fighting back, if you will. So after The Bees, again, fantastic slipcover, The Bees. Now we head to the main event, the heavy hitters, if you will. These were the first three that I picked up when they first announced the Halfway to Black Friday, I guess a pre-sale way back when. And these are all films I actually already own. In DVD, Blu-ray, in some cases. And the first one up, which is just blew my mind, excuse me, when I saw this was going to be available, and it's a 4K, and that is Miami Connection. A film I first became familiar with, again, via the Grind Bin, one of the episodes a long time ago. And after I saw it, I got it was so crazy I had to buy the Blu-ray. Just the description of it when they talked about it, I was like, this sounds messed up. I don't know. It's just, I had to buy this movie. I had to check this movie out. And I found it available and bought it. And I loved it. Because, again, it's just so insane. And then I saw the Riff Tracks version of it, which made it even more hilarious. But I saw they were releasing this fantastic looking edition and in 4K. Who does that? Who'd have thought, this one would get a 4K release? But, look at that fantastic artwork. And on the back, you've got Dragon Sound. That's cool. And this is a nice cover. Let's see. There we go. There's the spine. And this is a nice little, box. Nice sturdy box. And then you've got, also a slipcover. My father. There's, and then here 4K, and there's like the image that I'm probably most familiar with. And this thing is like loaded with some special features. It appears a lot of fine print. I'm probably not going there, but just put it up here so you can see all that. Pause that if you will. And this is a 3-disc set. You've got, here's your 4K disc, and then the Blu-ray, and then this is, I guess this is the first time this is out. This is the Escape from Miami pre-release cut, I guess, a different version before they actually released the regular or original film, theatrical film. And then the reverse artwork is the same as the slipcover here. So this is they really went all out for Miami Connection. This is a great presentation. Again, you've got this nice, beautiful box. You've got this slipcover. I mean, this is nice. This is beautiful, and it only gets better from here. If you've never seen Miami Connection, and you like rock and roll, karate, kung fu, taekwondo, whatever it is they're doing, action, ninjas, you name it, it's in this movie. It's a lot of fun. Check it out. Next up is a film which I was surprised to see that Vinegar Syndrome got, because it's a film that from the 80s, and it really, when you see it, it really speaks of its time, and it's one that I was really surprised it got this kind of treatment, because it's almost, I feel like it's almost been forgotten about, and without further ado, that movie is Cloak and Dagger. This, of course, stars Henry Thomas, famous from right off coming off the heels of his E.T., and this with Dabney Coleman, and this is right in the midst of the whole video game craze of the 80s. I mean, the movie's all about the video games, specifically I think almost like an ad for Atari, and I saw they're getting Vinegar Syndrome was getting this film, and it was a 4K release. Was like, wow. And I gotta admit, I am really surprised at the presentation they've given this film. I was blown away when I saw it, because judging what I saw on the website, I figured it's okay. It's a slipcover. It's nice. I did not expect that it would get this treatment, and I'll show you what I mean. This is a nice, thick, and of course it's a partnership with Universal too, which is interesting. But this is a nice, thick box here. Here's the back art, which is this great artwork, and it's, I guess this is similar to the Beastmaster set, which I didn't get that version of it, but it's magnetic, which is really cool. And you have this nice little opening, of course, the game. And this is what I really love right here. You pop this out, because this slipcover is made to resemble an old Atari video game box. I mean, look, I love the detail. I mean, obviously it's ultra, 4,000. Kind of supposed to be like reminiscent of the Atari 2600 logo. But I love they put this little price tag on here, like an old video game would, and the same kind of color scheme. If you look at an old Atari video game box, this is what it'll look like. And in the back, they've done such a good. I mean, this attention detail is fantastic, and kudos to Vinegar Syndrome and Universal for putting this together and giving this kind of attention and love to this movie that, again, I feel is almost forgotten about. And there's your spine. And here again with the Ultra 4000, almost like Atari 2600. And then you open up, and again, more attention to detail. If you look at this, the ridges here, this is almost supposed to resemble an actual Atari cartridge in a lot of ways, which is just a fantastic touch. That's just great. Here's your back. Get that glare off there. Your special features. And this is 4K and Blu-ray, of course. Here's your 4K disc and your Blu-ray. And this is the image on the reverse artwork of this. So on the other side of this image is you have the original poster art, which I normally would probably flip to, but I really love this video game aesthetic so much. It's just so cool that they did this. And also included in here is a booklet. Just a very nice little full color. I mean, this is a thick book too. This is almost reminiscent of what you would get like an Arrow release, something like that in this limited editions. But yeah, so much cool stuff. This is such a nice set. And of course, underneath that you have the Game Over. I am blown away that they got this kind of treatment. I'm glad, because Cloak and Dagger is like an underrated gem. I remember seeing this movie a lot as a kid and just really enjoying it. And I saw it because I had the DVD of this, and I remember watching it some time back and thinking this is still a lot of fun, a really fun movie. So it's so cool to see that it gets this kind of really cool treatment. And this is a beautiful, beautiful set. The attention to detail on this is fantastic. And again, I can't believe that Vinegar Syndrome and Universal put this much effort into this film, and I'm glad they did, because this is fantastic and it's deserved. Now, the main event, if you will. Let me get a drink of water for this one. This is the big one. Nothing much to say except for Thriller, A Cruel Picture. This has been like the highlight of what everyone's waiting for, I think, for the whole halfway Black Friday sale, is this. And it's been subject of some, I don't want to say controversy or whatever going on with Synapse, who last Black Friday actually put out a release. They were releasing Thriller on a Blu-ray. Now, they had years ago had the rights to the DVD and released the DVD version of which, special edition, which I had. And then they released the Blu-ray, which I purchased. But that was before I knew this was coming out. After I purchased that, I heard that apparently Vinegar Syndrome was getting a 4K master and whatever. And I talked about that in a previous video, which you probably already heard me go on about. And I guess there's been a lot of shade. I don't know. Vinegar Syndrome threw a lot of shade towards Synapse, saying there was like a inferior copy. I don't know what the exact wording was. A lesser, basically, but basically saying there's this crap. This is the one. Ours is the one you want. I don't know the story behind that. I'd be curious to learn what was going on or why that is. From what I understand, though, my take on it is that Synapse basically was just taking their DVD master and upgrading to a Blu-ray, where I guess Vinegar Syndrome has actually got the was it 60 millimeter film, when you actually did a 4K transfer off that for the first time ever. So they went all out. Again, don't know the details on that. I would love to hear that story. But right now, here is this box. And this, to me, is very reminiscent of the Fleischer Frankenstein box they put out. So here's the spine. And let's see here. There is the back, kind of censored a bit. And then you've got, two sets here. You've got Thriller, and They Call Her One Eye. So let's pull these out. We'll take a look at first one, Thriller, A Cruel Picture. That's so hard to say. And there's the back here. It says, first they took her speech, then her sight, and when they were finished, she used what was left of her own for her own frightening kind of revenge. So, yeah, there's that in. Pop this down, and here is the reverse. This is the reverse artwork. The other side of this looks like this here, and this is, of course, Thriller. This is the uncut, the hard, the rough one, if you will. And you have the 4K and the Blu-ray version of this. And the Blu-ray will have all the special features that are on here. But this is a really, really nice presentation. And then you have They Call Her One Eye, which is the tamed down version. I guess also the one that was probably released here in the States. And there's the back, kind of the same spiel. There's the reverse artwork, and of course the reverse artwork on this, the same as this cover here. Here's your back, and this is of course a 4K and Blu-ray of the They Call Her One Eye version, which is I think really cool that they went through all that trouble to do that. And there's your discs. So this is a really, really nice set. And they've got a lot of new features on here. I think there's actually new interviews with Christine Lindenberg, which is really cool because it's my understanding she really doesn't really do a lot of public appearances much anymore. Now that she's obviously older and probably doesn't want to. There's certain when you have a certain reputation, if you will. It's similar to Betty Page, who was known as a sex symbol in her youth and all that. I know in her later years she kind of went into hiding. Not only went into hiding, but she didn't want to be in the public light so much because she didn't want to ruin the image that people had of her because she was an older woman now, and as is the case. And I think part of me, I don't know, I'm just speculating because I don't see a lot of Christine Lindbergh too much. Here and there, maybe that's one of the reasons why she just doesn't want to ruin the fancy, because she was a Swedish sex symbol, and for good reason, because she is sexy. But it's interesting that she's on here on camera interview, I believe, too, with this part of special features along with some other things. But I'm looking forward to really delving into this set. And again, this is a very nice set, nice sturdy box. And to talk about Thriller, I can't help it. I have to bring up my Synapse issues. If you've seen my previous video sometime back about this, you know that they sent me 3 copies. Now these 2 are still wrapped. I have not unwrapped these. I only wrapped the one because I only ordered one, and they sent me 3. I don't know why. I reached out to Synapse multiple times, never got a response, except for one time on Facebook, and they said, "Oh yeah, we'll get with somebody, we'll get back to you." Never heard anything again. Which, this whole thing was weird because I placed the order from them on Black Friday, and it wasn't going to come out for months down the line. And I got my 2 other items I ordered on Black Friday, on time, no problem. And then one day a box just appears on my doorstep. I had no idea what it is. And I opened up, and it's this times 3, which was also like a month or 2 early for when it was supposed to be released, which is kind of a surprise to a lot of people. And then there was no notice of it, nothing like that. And again, why I got 3 copies. Again, one is on my shelf, unwrapped. These are 2 that I have not opened up. I don't know, and I wasn't charged for them. They just sent me 3 copies. Why would they send me 3 copies? That seems kind of strange. Especially knowing at the time, this is probably a well-selling item. People probably pre-ordered this, and why would they just mistakenly throw out extra copies? And like I said, I tried to reach out to Synapse because I didn't want to keep these because, I'm sure someone probably paid for this. Why are you saying to me? Apparently they weren't too interested in reclaiming these films. So I still have them, still shrink wrapped. Part of me wonders, and again, this is pure speculation on my part, if maybe they, in light of the whole, Vinegar Syndrome situation, maybe they were just trying to dump off as much stock as possible early. And they were just, mistakenly shipping out extra copies. I don't know. I haven't heard of anybody else who got multiple copies. It might could just be a fluke. But it's, again, the fact that customer service never replied to my multiple attempts to reach out to them to return these extra copies is kind of strange. You think they would want to do that. You wouldn't want to give this merchandise away for free, I would think. I think you want some kind of payment for it or something. I don't know. Apparently Synapse did not. But like I said, that was, I think I got these December, so almost a month early, or a month after because I placed the order on Black Friday. I remember specifically placing the order as I was, frying turkey on on Black Friday, because we had turkey or Thanksgiving, I think, the day after. But I remember being online at the time and placing that order. And then, I looked back, actually, my YouTube video that I did on those, and that was like sometime late December. So within a month, I think this wasn't supposed to come out until February, March, maybe. So again, why I got these so early and why I got so many of them, just strange. It's a mystery, one that will probably never be solved. But as it stands now, I have 5 copies of Thriller. This brand new set, this 4K set. 3 of these, and my original special DVD collector's edition from Synapse. What are you gonna do? I'm sure I'm getting rid of the Synapse ones, because I think everything you want's right here. This is a loaded set, and of course I'm gonna say it is definitely gonna be the higher quality, more bang for the buck, as it were. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with these, I'm sure. I mean, if you're not in the market for this, you can still pick up this. Help, hit me up. I have a couple laid around, still shrink wrapped, brand new. But these were selling out fast. I don't think this set is. It may still be available, but not for much longer. But I do know that Vinegar Syndrome did post that you could buy, I think, these individually now, or at least they're here soon, if they're not already available, that you could pick up. These, they call it One Eye and Thriller in these slipcovers by themselves, but not together in the beautiful little box. Okay, so this is a long one. This has been over almost 45 minutes. That's a long time to talk about a lot of movies. Excuse me. So yeah, that is this big order that I got in from Vinegar Syndrome, my halfway to Black Friday sale, along with my one from Kino Lorber. I was very excited about that. I'm so happy with what I got. Especially, again, I can't stress enough how thrilled I am with the Cloak and Dagger set. That is a beautiful, beautiful set. I mean, all the 3 major ones, all these are great, but the Thriller, Cloak and Dagger, and Mind Protection are great. So that the attention detail, what they did for the Cloak and Dagger set is just, it's awesome. So again, kudos to Vinegar Syndrome and for Universal for allowing them to do this, or how they partner together, whatever the case may be. Amazing. So that is it for now. If you like this, click thumbs up, share, subscribe, leave me a comment on any of this stuff that I've just rambled on about. If you got your halfway to Black Friday sale, if you picked up your copy of Thriller, if you got extra copies from Synapse, what are your thoughts on this whole Synapse extra copies thing, or your whole take on the Vinegar Syndrome Synapse Thriller issue? Did you get the Cloak and Dagger? What do you think about it? Anything, let me know, or just say hi. I'll always say hi. Oh, goodness gracious. So that is it for now. Now the fun part comes. I gotta find room on the shelves to put these on. So until next time, this is Chuck saying, I will see you on the other side.